Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. We're back on the dev server, and there was a little mini update over the night, at least for me, and they've actually added the other cruiser for France, which is kind of interesting to see. You can see here it's labeled as a pack vehicle, so this is probably why the destroyer is ranked 2. It looks like they're going to bring in another pack, which will be for a light cruiser, and it is specifically for the Duguay-Trouin, which is a light one. Now, this vehicle is nowhere near finished. It definitely isn't finished, as you can tell here. They've obviously just stuck it here so people can have a look at it and see that it exists. I'm sure we'll get an announcement at some point this week that this vehicle is available. But we don't know what rounds it's going to get. We do know it has the 150mm/48 KC-36s, and it has 4 dual turrets of it. After some preliminary testing, it seems like it has some kind of HEVT attached to the 150s, but I'm sure that's not what it's supposed to have. But you can see here they're set up in 4 twin turrets, 2 on the front, 2 on the back, and then of course it has 4 singular 88s on the vehicle as well, providing some secondary armament. It also has 6 40mm Bofors and also some 20mm guns as well. So there are some of the guns on the side, and then obviously some of the 40s on the back. So this vehicle will have a good AA complement. The 40s are usually, at least for me, my go-to when it comes to AA stuff. And the main armament, I mean, for a 4.7, having 8 150mm guns is quite nice, especially at 8 rounds a minute. I think that's quite good. The main issue with this thing is its armor is pretty bad. There are some armor around the ammo itself of the vehicle, which is obviously really useful, but the general citadel armor and main fire tower armor is really rough at only 20 or 30mm. So you're not going to go pop as easily in a vehicle like this, but at the same time you are going to take a lot of damage from destroyers, which is going to be its main opponent. I think this one is kind of in the weird state that a lot of the Italian cruisers are in, where they are very good at bashing destroyers and just annihilating them. But when it comes to actually facing like the big buffy cruisers, it kind of struggles with. So it'll really depend on this thing's matchmaking, how well it does. I think at 4.7, if it stays at it, which, you know, obviously it's the dev server, stuff like that can change a lot. And this vehicle, I feel like, is going to go through a lot of changes. There's definitely a chance that this vehicle, is able to do really well, or just get annihilated. The skin itself is really nice. The blue on it is absolutely beautiful. And then also at the same time, you can kind of see the firepower of the secondary armaments. As I said, I don't think the primary armament's working properly. It doesn't really seem to have any like rounds attached to it or something like that. But the turrets themselves are pretty quick at moving around. You can see the overall firepower there of the secondaries, which is good. But as usual, it's just firing over it, which seems to be a common bug with this update with a lot of vehicles. I'm sure they'll fix it as they go ahead. But having this many guns, so having 8 guns overall, to be able to deal with enemy vessels is definitely a good amount. And then as long as the bug is gone, where you can actually aim properly with them, I feel like this thing is going to do really well. One of the vehicles for me that I liken it to, at least at the moment, is the Bartolomeo Corleone, which I've had a really good time with. It's been a fantastic vehicle, the Bartolomeo, and the simple reason is because it's got a pretty good reload, it's got quite large guns, and is in BR, or at least used to be at a BR, where it would see a lot of destroyers, and therefore it could use its advantages really well. Same with stuff like the Trento before it went up in BR. So I'm hoping this machine will be in a similar point, but also understand it's nowhere near finished. So we'll have to see when it actually comes out. Right now, the French tech tree, at least for the first 2 vehicles, is looking promising. I'm very happy to see both of them, and overall, I'm going to be very happy to see the tree as well. As somebody who really enjoys France in ground, and also in parts of air with stuff like the Mirages, I'm sure the naval stuff will be fun as well. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day. And I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank Millie Draper, Juan the Panda, Nick R. Cupila, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Merciless Reaper, Orange Tail, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Moxie B. Young, Peter Grayling, Jerry Provolt, Bareen, Alan Hacker, Sem Arslan, Uncle Bean, Derek R. and Lafouche for supporting the channel.